really, really experience him. Yeah, I even experienced him when he was upset, which was good to experience for my son, because I wanted to address emotions. And that was a segue for me to sit down and say, okay, I'm having another parental moment. You know?
How did you address it? I mean, what form did the emotions come? And then how did you respond?
He was frustrated because he put together a scenario that would work out really well because he was in a timeline of leaving. And so if everything fell in place, it would have been great. And he would have got his deposit back on his other place and all this other stuff.
Oh.
But this bitch came into the program and she wanted certain things done that the management office of the place wasn't concerned about, but she was. So she wouldn't turn around the $500 with my son because these things hadn't been taken care of, and she didn't want to be responsible to the management people about it.
Was it someone he lived with?
No, he had a house, he had a couple guys there, and one of the guys was going to stay, so it was just like a transfer. But what it was when they moved into it, it had been a damaged house a bit, and redone, some of the putty, and, not a perfect house, okay?
Yeah.
Well, this bitch walks in. Apparently these two I don't even know if she was rich or not.
Someone else moving in?
These sisters were going to move in and take over with the one guy, and all I know is that they already had a reputation for being super bitches. And sure enough, my son ran into the wall, and it just peed him off because he only had a few days to deal with stuff. And he says, Dad, how can I redo the damn drawer on that? And how can I redo those walls? And he went through this little dance. He says, I ain't got time to do all that. And he says, and I really would like to have my $500 back. And I said, well, I don't know what to say. And I said, didn't you get paperwork done on what was damaged to this place before you moved in? He said, we were given a paper to turn in, and we never did turn it in. So there's no verification what's the damage, who did the damage, So he's being left with the responsibility to straighten that place out. If he wants his $500 back from this chick, well, it's down to 3 or 4 days he's leaving. He ain't got no other but people to move in, right?
Does the chick live there?
No, the two chicks are going to move in there.
Oh, so they want stuff done that isn't his responsibility. I get it.
Yeah, so anyway, it's a real hassle. So he decided, I said, well, you may have to bend over backwards on this one, buddy. You may have to call, get a little humble about it. You didn't take care of the paperwork, so you didn't cover your butt, which you should have. And I said, basically, you need to call the troops in and have them take care of it for you. So whoever you can have responsibility with that will cover this for you, because if you're taking off, you need to get this covered. So he says, yeah, maybe you're right, Dad. And I said, well, hey, isn't it better to get half your money back and then give good money to your friend that's going to take care of the problem? I said, wouldn't that be better than just lose your $500? And he says, yeah, you're probably right. At least, yeah, okay, that's what I'm going to do. So he called up a friend to get it taken care of.
Nice.
And he basically was, when I last saw him, he was just getting ready to go to the house to show the guy to get stuff taken care of, and that's what he was going to do. Have the guy kind of take care of some of the things. And my son had a couple other jobs that he got him too. So it's kind of a combination of stuff, and this was sort of extra stuff, and the guy will probably do it for him for, say, $100, redo the drawer and fix some of the things in the house, right? And then that won't be no big deal. But anyway, that took a lot of pressure off him, because he was under pressure about that, timelines.
Under pressure.
Yeah, and he thought he put all, he had put all the P's and Q's together and made everything so it worked perfectly. And I told him, I had to teach him. I said, Zach, it's that old saying of mice and men, of plans.
Oh, yeah.
I said, as much as you may want to make something happen in this and that, well, that's okay in your timeline, but there's more going on than just you. And so you have to always have plan B and C, in case this doesn't work out. So what's your plan B? I asked him. And he says, I didn't think anything. I thought it was going to work out, Dad. I didn't think about that. I said, well, there you are. I said, this could be a good lesson for you in the future.
Yeah.
Is that as much as you plan it, and you want it, because see, in the military, it's all 1, 2, 3, and nobody misses a step. And if you do, well, you leave. Yeah, you either know how to step or you don't. And so in that fashion, in the military, they get used to that. They think that everything else should be like that.
Oh, you mean they come back to society?
To be so perfect and that it all works out, right? No, it's really frustrating to those guys. because they know who to talk to, they know how to step, they know the 1, 2, 3s,
They know the rules.
they know everything, and everybody follows them, because you can't be there unless you do, right? Strictly so. And so when I told him, I said, well, that's the difference from that to society, because society, everybody's on different rules. And so when we have different rules, then things are going to turn out differently.
Yeah.
So I told him, I says, it's when you get on the outside again, that's the hardest thing on the soldiers or the ex-boys, is that they basically get caught up in thinking that, why isn't everything like the military? They do.
Well, that's one of my issues. One of my issues on a side note is how you got military law and regular law.
Uh-huh.
My idea is we should just have regular law, just one law, and it would be better, because military law seems a little harsh. They have really big stiff penalties
Well,
there.
it's because humans are too loose. See?
Too
No, you
loose.
have to be. Even comedians can prove this.
Were you in the military?
No. Comedians can prove this. And that is how to get, when you're standing on stage and you got all these strangers, how do you get these people to respond, right? And so that's the big deal, is how to get people to respond. We do it here. We do it at the Oregon Country Fair. We do it everywhere around to try to get people to flow. And because they're not, because not everybody was born in the same moment and the same rules and the same person and all that, same parents, and it goes back and back, Well, there's just no way to get that synchronicity. And when it does happen, it's really sweet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we have to be thankful when it happens. But we always are trying to make it happen because it's a difficult thing. So I just sort of think that things that are so different, you're really lucky to get that.
Well, the way I always say it is, with the 100 million egos on the planet, it's hard to get them all to agree.
Well, I challenged that, because when I was doing the entertainment industry and being a road manager and on the road with all the egomaniacs, the entertainers, you're correct. It is very difficult to get them all on the same stage and doing the same thing. It really is. Because they're all looking for their fame, their 5 minutes of fame, and they all think they're great egos. But that's all they are. I kept telling them, you're just an ego. You want to learn how to be an entertainer? Then relax. So, you do. You have to get down off your horse and be with the rest of the people and learn that that's how you communicate with other people. Not just by you being up on your horse and communicating like this, but you also have to get down and be with the people.
Yes.
So that's sort of what I was trying to teach artists, is that yes, you may have a unique talent or ability, but the bottom line is how are you going to communicate that with the people you want to hear it? And that was really where I came in. I even did that with politicians.
And what is your name again?
What is my name?
Yeah.
The name. The name!
Your current name.
My current name is Mountain.
All right.
That's right. Anyway.
How about a name that would people from the Grateful Dead would recognize you?
Mountain.
Really?
Mountain
Oh, so for a long time, that's been your name?
Yeah.
Wow. Since
yeah.
like you were a kid, huh?
Well, no, actually, no, I was known since I was 16 years old as Mountain. Then I got given the name when I was 17 by the community.
Nice.
Yeah.
What community?
There was a community up in the mountains of Cobb Mountain, north of San Francisco, about 100 miles. And it was where the Jefferson Airplane Grade Society hung out, on Cobb Mountain, at Cobb Mountain Lodge. Anyway, I lived up there in those mountains, and by Clear Lake, California. And basically, we had 5 or 6 Michaels in the area. So we had to figure out which Michael was what Michael.
Ah.
And I lived up on Mount Hanna, the extinct volcano. So they referred to me as Mountain Michael, Mountain Michael up there on the mountain. So eventually I had a production company I put together called Mountain Productions.
Last 30 seconds.
And it was just basically the support systems for the entertainers from about 66 through 1990. I did all that fun stuff. There you are.
Yay. So your original name was Michael.
Michael.
Hey.
Yep, Michael from Mountains. Oh, that's what people used to say.
All right, well, thank you, Om Shanti Om. This is part 1
Om-de-dum-de-dum.
of The Life of Mountain.
Oh.